Good morning, everyone. I'm Valeria Tonioli, and I come from the Ca' Foscari University of Venice in Italy, and I'm going to present you the results of a study conducted in Venice. The research was part of the Fammi Voci project, Living Today in Italy as Citizen, that was financed jointly by the Italian Ministry of Interior and the European Union. Family projects are aimed at facilitating life and social inclusion of migrant people. We developed a case study at a preschool situated in the municipality of Venice with a high percentage of students with a migration background, more than 80%. The school is also situated in an area characterized by social fragility. Activities were conducted between September 2021 and February 2022. Teachers within a specific section of the preschool service asked to the municipality of Venice for a social and linguistic intervention due to the lack of knowledge of many teachers of the importance of the maintaining the first, second, and other languages spoken by pupils. In this regard, the primary advice given to many migrant families was to forget their first language and start speaking only Italian with their pupils. The section was made up of 18 students, aged 3 to 6, with the following characteristic. Here we can see the number of students, their nationality, the age, and the language or languages spoken at home according to parents' opinion. We can see that in the case of the Egyptian and Albanian boy and girl, they only spoke Italian as a second language at home. We also involved other participants as the coordinator of the preschool, the coordinator of the migrant service of the municipality of Venice, 3 linguistic and cultural mediators, 3 teachers of the section, the researcher, me as the researcher, children's parents, and the Association Antinea, a cultural association of linguistic and cultural mediators. The investigation was based on the framework of reference for pluralistic approaches to languages and cultures, and we focused on the Awakening to Languages approach. The protocol was to expose children to different languages, thus promoting plurilingual language awareness and discovering linguistic diversity between languages that are not taught at school. We divided the study in 3 parts. In the first part, we conducted semi-structured interviews and informal conversations with parents and teachers in order to plan the activities, collect the perception, and assess needs, and to plan activities that could fit into daily routine of children. And we also realized 12 hours of training. In the second part of the study, we conducted 10 lessons for 4 different languages, English, Arabic, Bengali, and Chinese. Then we introduced the languages through storytelling. In the third part of the study, we realized the semi-structured interviews with the teachers, the parents, the coordinator of the preschool service, and the mediators in order to collect the perception after the project. And we also realized follow-up conversations with teachers and pupils 2 months after the end of the project. Here we can see one of our activities that was the realization of the plurilingual panel. Using days of the week, we created a plurilingual panel, and for every subsequent day, we added another language. Pupils needed to select the correct day using colors or by reading the words if possible. Once the day was correctly selected, we then used these to identify differences between the languages displayed, such as characters, direction of text, or ideograms. Here you have an example of the storytelling in double languages, and we read the story. We selected the key points and the keywords in the story, and then we realized a summary and reorder the story using all linguistic repertoire of children. Here you have another example of the activities that we realized after the storytelling. For example, we had multilingual puzzles, or we asked the students to color the first letter of the words. The words were the ones they selected before, or the words of the main characters of our stories. In this case, you can find a pupil discovering that in the Arabic language, words are written from right to left. We also had activities of manipulation of the languages using the Play-Doh, for example, to trace the words or coloring the words. A student told me that Arabic language is more funny because letters seem like little worms. We also realized artistic laboratories or games using the main characters and the main keywords that the children had previously discovered during the storytelling and the other activities. And they realized these activities through all their linguistic repertoire. Teachers' perception at the beginning, for example, they told me that we think the knowledge of only the Italian language is not enough. We consider that we have a variety of different languages in our classroom and we would like to make them important, give them value, but we don't know how to do it. And then they also told me that we would like to arouse the curiosity in the children regarding all the languages that we have in our classroom. Parents at the beginning told me that, for example, this mother of an Italian pupil, we live in a society where the use of the English language is very important. We appreciate that the preschool children start use this language since they are young. And then a mother of a Bangladeshi pupil told me, are you really starting using the Bengali language also at the preschool? This is very important for me. It's our language. I do not want my child to lose it. It's a wonderful surprise. But we also had this reaction. For example, the mother of the Egyptian pupil told me, why are you insisting in using our mother tongue? I have already told you that we want to speak Italian because we want a successful social inclusion for our children in Italy. At the end of the project, teacher perception was different, and they told me there was a sort of shame in the children about keeping secret the mother tongue. The project had them in coming out, communicating, and also interacting in other languages. We saw a marked transformation with the Chinese laboratory. Parents and other teachers should be trained more in how to raise or to do or to work with bilingual children. And then we have some of the main parents' perception. For example, the mother of the Italian pupil told me, now my son is always speaking in English, showing off how much he knows. And the mother of the Bangladeshi pupil told me that my husband really appreciated your work. Now he thinks that the school has a better opinion of migrant people. And then I also put here the mediator's perception. For example, one of the mediator for the Chinese language told to me that usually mediators' intervention at school are used in order to realize individual activities. But this kind of laboratory make me helpful for all the pupils. Many times mediations are seen as a cure for a situation, but the actions of this project are as a prevention against racism and discrimination for all the children. And 2 months after, teachers' perception was like the following one. During some specific moments of the day, children ask other pupils how to count in their own languages or how to write or pronounce some words. Even pupils who were always silent now are collaborating and participating actively in these activities. And then here you have some examples of the conversations that I had with the pupils 2 months later. Hi, Valeria, which language did you bring us today? Or they asked me, when is the Chinese teacher, meaning the mediator, coming back to visit us? Or here we can also see a Chinese pupil speaking with her classmate who was yelling at her Italian friend because she could not pronounce nor write exactly some Chinese word. So she said, hey, you have to be patient. She's Italian. She needs time to learn how to write and pronounce in Chinese. And then to conclude, I would like to show you these two linguistic silhouettes. In the left one, we can see that a pupil represented the language repertoire that he had using three different main colors. You can see on the left the Italian language, then in the center the Bengali one, and in the right part the French language. And he represented the English language. He represented it as a flow. But also I want to show you the silhouette of an Italian girl who put not only the Italian language and the English one, but also Chinese, saying that now I also know something, little words of the Chinese language. And that's all from me. This is my email, and thank you for your attention.